Hey everyone, thank you for being here today for AG's IEP meeting. Before we get started, I'll just go ahead and introduce everyone who's here. We have Mr. Sweet, our school principal. We have AG's dad, myself, Miss Ballman, the special education teacher, and then we have a translator here for EG's dad. Today we are here just to discuss EG and her progress through sixth grade. We're going to go through her IEP goals and the data that helped us as a team come up with certain goals for her. I just want to say during this meeting, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please chime in. We're all here as a team to work together to help EG become successful. So we'll go ahead and get started. So EG was given 3 different assessments. These assessments being the first one, an informal assessment. This is just based on her ability to answer basic multiplication and division facts and relating those facts. The next assessment would be the norm-based assessment. She was given the Woodcock-Johnson test for this. And then the curriculum-based assessment, this was based on her reading fluency. So we're just going to go through some data to help explain these results. I will show some charts and, like I said, data from each assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will look at that data and then talk about goals that I have set for EG. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So the first one we're going to go over is, that's not it, her norm referenced report. This is going to be, here we're going to show one of her weaknesses, one of these being her reading recall. So if we look here at the reading recall, it says that her proficiency is limited, okay, and her classification is low. So the 95% band here shows that she's scoring a 71, and here's the scores of 62 through 79. So her reading recall is low. So this would just be like, after reading a passage, I ask her, okay, so what happened in the story? Her just being able to recall like in her own words and just explaining what she read. So that is one weakness of what we want to improve on. Next, I'm going to go ahead and show her informal assessment. So on this one, this is where she was assessed on her multiplication and division and relating those two. So here, if we look at her comprehension check results, she scored a 40%. So here it just shows that we need to improve her multiplication and division facts and relating them. So just knowing that when we have 4 times 6, that's the same as 6 times 4, which equals 24. And then relating that to mean, oh, well, 24 divided by 6 would be 24. So just relating those facts. The next one that we're going to go over is her CBM report, which is a curriculum-based measure report. Here was when we worked on reading fluency. So we're going to go ahead and look at test results and interpretation. So first we're going to look at her baseline, the baseline score. So the baseline score is in the orange, and that shows that the baseline score is at reading 143 words per minute. So the first time she was given a passage, she gets to read for a minute. She read 148 words. So here she is above that baseline score. And then the next read, she read 132 words. So as we can see here, it's very inconsistent, okay? So sometimes like on her 5th read and her 6th read, we're reading above the baseline score of a 143. So as you can just see, it's just a little bit inconsistent. Here's showing her benchmark goal. So EG's words per minute here is the blue line. As you can see, again, very inconsistent as we have the kind of jagged looking line. And then the orange one is her goal line. Okay, so as you can see here, she's a little below where she needs to be. Here was where she is above. So there's showing the benchmark, and then here is the intervention. So this was given to her 3 days. So as we went through those 3 days, we obviously wanted to see growth. The intervention goal line here, as you can see, and then her first, second, and third read are below that goal line. So as we're looking at this data, it basically tells us that in order for her to reach that goal by the end of the year, she'll need to read 171 words per minute. So she's a little bit lower where she needs to be. So this just tells us that this is one of her weaknesses, and this is something that we are going to work on and put in a goal for that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen with you. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and talk about some goals that I want to set up for Evelyn. Now, these assessments that I just showed you, these were just chosen based on EG's performance in these areas. So just based off the data and observation that I've seen in class. So that's why those specific ones were chosen. So as we could see, she has many strengths and weaknesses based off the assessment results and the data. So as we saw, the strengths being she was able to complete the fact families. Like she can put them into equation to solve multiplication, like 6 times what equals 42, 6 times 7 is 42. But then relating that back to division and multiplication, that would be one of her weaknesses. Another one of her strengths is just being able to just be so positive in all aspects of her learning and just trying, right? Like she doesn't ever give up. She's great at asking questions. So just her strength of just being willing to do her best and willing to learn. Excuse me. The data shows her weaknesses as well. And these are things that we're going to focus on and talk about some SMART goals for her. One of them being the reading recall, as we saw on the data chart. She's low compared to other 6th graders and where she needs to be. Another one is her reading fluency. We saw she's just very inconsistent there. And then relating those multiplication and division facts. So I did come up with some SMART goals to help improve her progress on those, on just a couple of things. So we'll go ahead and go over those now. So the first long-term goal that I came up with was in approximately 36 instructional weeks, when presented with a mixed list of 40 multiplication and division facts, EG will answer at least 80% of those accuracy or correctly in a minute, excuse me. So I created a lesson in order to help with that. I'll be working with EG on this task by relating her multiplication and division facts. We'll just be doing some different activities, and then she will be assessed on completing a puzzle. So the puzzle will have 4 pieces. Like for instance, if we have like 3 times 2 equals 6, 2 times 3 equals 6, and then we'll have the division facts with those as well. So she'll have to place those to create a 4-piece puzzle. A short-term goal for this would be for her to complete all the puzzle pieces. So our long-term goal, as I said, was to answer 40 multiplication, mixed 40 multiplication and division facts. But then a short-term goal to lead up to her long-term goal will be for her to complete all the puzzles at the end of our unit, scoring at least 20 out of 24 correctly. So there'll be 24 puzzles for her to complete. The next long-term goal that I had set for EG is in approximately 36 instructional weeks. EG will increase her oral reading fluency to approximately 160 words read correctly in 1 minute on a grade level CBM probe. So for the lesson to help her with this, we'll be working on timed reading passages. I'll have a mixture of fiction and nonfiction passages, and just stressing the importance of being a fluent reader. This will help with our comprehension, help with our reading recall, which was another weakness we had talked about. Which is also what needs to be practiced on based on the data we had shown before. A short-term goal relating to this would be when given a grade level text, e.g. will read and demonstrate comprehension of grade level literacy text with little to no help with 80% accuracy. This lesson that will be created for EG for the reading and recall out of our own chosen reading. I feel like this is important I feel like student choice is very important, and I want EG to practice the skill of recall with a book that she enjoys. So we'll read at least a chapter a day, even taking turns reading. So she can even listen to me read to hear that fluency as well. So kind of helping with the fluency aspect as well. And then she will fill out a reading recall worksheet. Some days I'll have her fill it out, and then some days I'll just have her recall to me what she had just read. So those are just two of the SMART goals that I have for EG. But basically, during this whole IEP process and working with EG, I just will be fully honest with you throughout the whole process. So please just don't hesitate to ask questions, like as her parents, Mr. Sweet, okay? Just don't hesitate to ask questions, give your opinions, give your thoughts. We're all a team and we're working on this together to help EG become successful. Everyone here on the team is a huge role in this process, and especially you, Dad. So we'll be communicating closely, having Mrs. W help with the translating, and just working closely throughout this process of working with EG and just helping her become successful throughout this whole process, and just doing everything we can as a team to guide her through the rest of the year.